and stuff. Hopefully everything settles down and the wind goes away today and they can figure it out. Okay. We're supposed to do chapter 11 and 12? Well, I'm getting confused.
I think that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm getting confused because we're supposed to do 11, which is the mystery of sex transmutation.
That's right.
And then 12 is the subconscious mind, but I, for some reason, I was thinking that we did the subconscious mind. We
I
had
think
that-
auto-suggestion kind of was the whole chapter, which kind of talked about the subconscious
Yeah, I guess that's why
mind.
I'm confused.
'Cause I think they even referenced it.
Okay, got it. So I really want to hear from, since we're a small group, from all of you, what you get out of this chapter. Because this was the hardest one for me to get. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, it's like, what is this whole thing about? You know, it's like how is this applied to us or what we do or anything. So it took me like 3 or 4 years to really understand what it was. And I understood through listening to other books that made reference to it, or talking to other people that are more into the energy and the chakras and all that kind of stuff. So anyone wants to say, and don't be afraid that might be something that has nothing to do with it, whatever, just what's your take on it?
Okay, since you're looking at me.
Yes. You seem to be like the one that is more engaging.
To me, it's about directing your energy and whether your energy is directed towards physical, sexual encounters, or you take that same type of energy that you feel at those moments and direct them into where your focus, passion, drive, and intentions are.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, so
I
you
like
agree with that?
I do. You know, I've been having a hard time. I did this class last year and I did it this year, and these are the two chapters I have the hardest time kind of like really understanding, and I really like the way that she just explained it because that makes sense now.
All right.
That's awesome.
You've mentioned in the past that happiness is in doing, not in possessing, which I think this chapter talks about is you know, taking your steps. And because you can have all the acquired things that you think you want, but if you're not doing something every day towards your goals, there's an emptiness. So that's something I got out of this.
Okay. Really?
I think what I took from it was that, you know, there's a sexual drive, and then there's sort of the emotion that can come from within that, and that can be sort of part of, but also separate from that drive, and that as they talk about your success that comes more in your 40s and 50s, it's because you're not letting sort of the pure drive without the emotion or the passion in the like sort of romance part of it. It's not just driving you as this, you know, wild beast, but you're more satisfied, you're more calm, you're more grounded, and that allows you to kind of tap into your subconscious mind. It brings into the motion, which allows your auto-suggestion to become realized.
Okay.
Yeah, I think basically what everyone's saying is, you know, it's about this specific kind of energy and how you're using it, and also I think it was interesting with this that like some people don't use it in the correct way necessarily, but you have to learn how to use it properly. And I thought it was interesting how they talk about like different leaders and how they have like partners, well specifically they say like wives or women, and how they influence them in that way, and how they're able to use them like their romance and like or the energy from that in like the correct way. And Napoleon, and like I thought it was funny how they said that like I think his first wife was like more influential than like his second one or something, and like he went downhill after that. But yeah, I liked that.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot what she tapped into, like I got it as like, I equated it to music. Like you can have an instrument like a guitar and it can be just decoration, you could play it, but there's also fine tuning it, like getting it so it's right on key and you're on that right path to utilize it for kind of leveling up to what you truly are able to achieve. So that like really honed in on me. But yeah, the influential part is definitely, because it wasn't necessarily like it was just the sex and romance that was doing it. It was just like almost creating an open space in the mind to be able to tap into that sixth sense and like truly like visualize and get things done.
Okay.
It's really
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't bring my notes, but I agree. I think we're friends influence us, partners influence us. So I think using that energy collectively, it often aligns with what everyone's saying. It's true. Our combination of what we surround ourselves with.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like lining up your vibrations and your desires to be like really specific on what you want and focusing on exactly what it is and like fine tuning it, what you're saying.
All right, cool. Great, thank you. You guys are good. Better than what I was, but so what I understood after, like as I told you, talking to other people and just kind of trying to find out and directly or indirectly, is that the sixth transmutation is directly related to the second chakras. I don't know if many of you are aware of the chakras and the 7 chakras that we have, 1, 2. So the second chakras is right here, and it's got the creativity, passion, and desire. Those are the 3 main things that drive the second chakra. So what happens is, back in the day, they talk about men, but it applies for both. Men really didn't become successful until they reached a certain age, until they became older, 40s or whatever. And one of the indicators of that is that you can leak that energy if you are just following your animal instinct, which in this case would be sex, right? So therefore, younger men, at the time, like explained in the book, or women, didn't get to accumulate wealth at a certain age, because once they got married and they were more established, and that leaking around didn't happen anymore, if we can call it that way, that's when they start to redirecting their focus into what they're doing, their work, their calling, or whatever it was, and that's when they start to become successful and make a lot of money. So, it's a direct connection on how you redirect that energy and how you control that energy. And the example of them, by the time they get married and they're older, that energy translates and gets redirected on work, on building companies, on whatever it is that they were doing. So that's why older men back in the day became more successful. Now times have changed, and there's a lot of other factors that now younger people become richer, like technology and things like that. But that's what I understand about the sixth transmutation is you have so much energy in your second chakra that you want to use it well, and in all your chakras, right? So if you, out of creativity, passion, and desire, you're driven mostly for desire, and you're using that, you're not going to be able to use your energy in other things that could be like make money or become successful or build something or create a company or something like that. So that's mainly what it talks. So you all were right. All of you, kind of got it about that. I just want to kind of clarify and a little deeper explanation of what the chakras is and how is it that you can spend that energy in different ways. And look, I mean, there's people that become successful by doing things or whatever, but that's kind of like what this book and this chapter explains, and that's what I understood, and that's my closest, at least so far. If I learn more by next year, I'll let you know, but that's as of now what I understood of it, and it makes sense a lot to me, because I got married really young, right? I was married when I was 24, so I kind of like really focus on my business, right? And so in that case, I started thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense, because I wasn't going out and doing this and, picking here and there. I had a wife, I had my first kid, and I had my second kid, so I was really focused on my family and work. So that energy was only for that. And that really helped me on my business. So that's what happened with me. So if you start thinking about other people, that might make sense, that might not make sense. The whole book might not make sense to you, or maybe chapter 1 is great, and at this point it's becoming really weird. But like I said in the beginning, if you don't like it or you don't get it, just ignore it, and you find something you like it, then you work with that. So, any questions on that?
I like the part, Santiago, where it says, when harnessed and transmuted, it raises one to the status of genius. And that actually reminded me of you, because I feel that you're such a genius. No, but I feel that when, like, for example, in my life, like, you know, when you're in your 30s, I had success and wealth and travel, and it was easy, and you have maybe little kids. And then all of a sudden you go through divorce, you lose your parents, you have a sick child, you have things that happen, and everything you thought you knew took you at different directions. And then you get to your 50s, which I am now, and you are too, and you can still be inspired by people that are like searching for growth, which you've inspired me a lot in the last year with that, and just pursue your goals and in a way where it's thought out and planned. You know, whether it's love or a company or whatever it is. And I think that that's something we can learn at every age, right? Especially in our 50s.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Any comments? No? All right, so you start like looking into the book. I'm sure you all read the chapter. There's a portion in here that talks about relationship of achievement to highly developed sex natures. So it talks about here, like, for example, men of greatest achievement are men with highly developed sex natures, men and women, okay? Who have learned the art of sex transmutation, which is learning how to control that energy, that desire, you know, like the one thing that makes a difference between animals and us is that we have the ability to choose and make decisions, right? We just don't go with what we feel, well, some of us do, but that has implications too, you know? So when you make a choice, for example, to get married, you make a choice to get married and to be faithful, and that's what you do, right? I mean, you don't have to, but if you make that choice, then, you know, you need to learn how to control yourself and redirect that energy to something else. So there's also men who have accumulated great fortunes and achieve outstanding recognitions in literature, art, industry, architecture, and professions of all kinds, were motivated by the influence of a woman.
I love that part.
All right, right. That means that there were women that got inspired also by men.
Yeah.
Right? The book is gotta be both ways. So, and that's why I keep reminding myself, like things I'm not trying to, but I think it's important because it's all men, but we thought about that. So if you catch me saying a lot of that, let me know or just ignore it. So then there is the 10 stimuli of the mind. Who wants to read the first 5?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay. The desire for sex expression. 2 is love. 3, a burning desire for fame, power, financial gain, and money. 4 is music. 5 is friendship between either those of the same sex or those of the opposite sex.
Right. So the whole chemistry that we have inside, right? The brain activates and sends, you know, neurons activate cells and certain things by stimulation, right? So we have, one second, because I wrote this specifically for this. One make sure I get it right. Okay. So have you heard about these 4 things? Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Who heard about all those 4? Do you have any idea what those 4 are? Anyone?
Highs.
Brain receptors.
What else? Come on, don't be shy. Danny.
Hormones.
Huh?
Hormones
Yeah?
that are produced in your head when you're excited, or if you're confronted with a certain situation.
That's right.
That
Fight and
stimulate
flight.
pleasure, happiness.
Exactly. So, you know, the endorphins, can you generate endorphins by choice? Give me an example of how you generate endorphins, how you get your endorphins going. Right, exercise, right? Exercise gets you going and gets you endorphins, and your endorphins gives you a high, and it makes you positive and makes you feel good about yourself, right? So we have control over that, right? What about dopamine? Can we also control and generate that?
Yes.
By how?
Roller coaster.
Okay,
Skydiving.
yes. Very similar to the other one, okay? So those are the 2 out of the 4 that we can really work on having some sort of control, right? Then you have serotonin, right? You can take serotonin, right? You can cheat yourself by doing things, right? Like,
Hanging out with puppies.
yes.
That's my favorite.
How about oxytocin? So it's all chemistry, right? We have this, and our brain generates more or less of these things. Do you, humans, all of us, can become addicted to any of these things, right? You can become addicted to skydiving, and what's the next high you're gonna get? You can get addicted to drugs if you chose the route of drinking a pill to get this. You can become addicted to exercise like I am, because that makes you feel great. And you can become also addicted to the high that you get when you're buying something new. The difference is that the endorphins and the dopamine and the things that you do by exercise and things that are natural, that are actually good for you, are very different than the ones like, if you create happiness by going and buying something, you're cheating. That's a way how to get those hormones activated, by cheating, because you're sad, you're not happy, you can buy something, and then you buy some type of happiness, and then you go back to the same place. So when this is talking about, you know, all the stimuli that we have, all the things that stimulate things like desire for sex, love, burning desire for fame, music, friendship, all those things are ways of expression that stimulate your brain to generate certain emotions, right? We can control that, right? You like to play the guitar, you play the guitar, and it's going to help you feel a certain way, that's going to help you inspire you to do certain things, and you're going to redirect that energy to do that, and then you want to be successful at that you're doing, right? So that's kind of like what this is talking about, combined to another actually book that I'm reading right now that explain about this, and I was like, oh, that's great for next chapter because it kind of goes together. Let's go number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who? Dan, you look like you really want to read it.
I'm ready. Mastermind alliance based upon harmony of 2 or more people who ally themselves for spiritual or temporal advancement. 7, mutual suffering such as experienced by people who are persecuted. 8, autosuggestion. 9, fear. 10, narcotics and alcohol.
Okay, so that's kind of like what I was talking about already ahead. The narcotics and alcohol help you also stimulate certain things, but sometimes not best route to go. Fear, for sure, will get some of those 4 going. That's not the right way to go either. Autosuggestion is a great positive way to do things, right? Because, which we're gonna cover next week, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it, about the brain, right? The brain, to me, is nothing but a radio, a receptor of energy, right? And that's why we're gonna control our thoughts. Because our brain is constantly either sending a signal or receiving a signal. So why you meditate, why you want to suggest, why you wanna know what your goal is, why do you wanna go what you want, and what you wanna focus and visualize, and all those great things that we learn in here, because you wanna make sure that your brain is in the right channel, right? Because people pick up on other people's thoughts, and other people's inspiration, and other people's ideas, and other people's energy. So if you're in the right channel, and you're in alignment with what you really want, you're gonna be picking up that, and you're gonna be more receptive to ideas, so how many times you've been in a place where someone mentioned something, and just went from one ear and the other one, you didn't get it, because you're in the right channel. But when you are, out of the setting, that became an opportunity that actually got you to sell something. That happens to me a lot. If I am in alignment and I'm really good and I meditated and I went to the gym, and that's why I keep saying those things and why they're important to me, I feel that I'm gonna hear things that might not hear if I'm not on the right channel. I feel like I'm gonna be exposed to circumstances, people, great timing, all those things happen because you are in the right channel. So it's like you need to fight to get in the right channel all the time. The problem is that we have something inside that's always wanted to change to the different channel. So it's a constant uphill battle to try to be always in that right tune, okay? So let's go, any questions? Make sense? Okay. Where hunches come from? It's all the same. It's all the same, right? Hunches come from infinite intelligence, your higher self, God, energy, whatever you want to call it. That's where you like feel like, oh, I should call this person. Maybe I shouldn't go on that trip. Whether they're positive or negative, you get that, what they call your gut feeling. You got to listen to that. And you can listen to that if you're distracted by things that are not important, by the apparent reality that's in front of you, right? You really need to be in alignment with yourself to be able to listen to what your gut feeling tells you, because there is the gut feeling, and that's what you think is the gut feeling. I think that going in that crazy trip is really gonna help me, although you know that maybe you shouldn't go because you have $1,000 in your bank account, right? Example, just an example. So it's super important that, you know, you're in alignment so you can hear your hunches. And why do we meditate? Why is it that meditation as soon as you wake up is the best time to do it? Because there's a frequency that is being measured that is 10 point whatever that your brain is at, that allows you to be more open to download information, which is going to come in the form of gut feelings, hunches, all those kind of things, or what you should do, right? One subconscious mind wherein store every sense, impression, and thought impulse which ever reach the brain through any of the 5 senses. You know, what you see, what you hear, what you feel, all those kind of things. They also come from mind of some other person who has just released the thought. I was telling you, you pick up on other people's thoughts. You know, there's a reason why if you want a room, right, where you don't know anyone, you feel like you want to talk to someone more than the other person. You just feel that connection, that chemistry, that attraction. It doesn't have to be sexual or anything like that, but you just feel drawn to some people more than other ones. It's because of that, because you are in the same frequency with that person. And from other person's subconscious storehouse. So other people's subconscious mind also can send messages, or you can pick up on that, right? Okay. Talks about here how you can develop your creative faculty. Anyone wants to say how you can do that, or what this is about? How to develop your creative faculty?
Trying new things.
Learn. Why is it so hot here? Is it just me, or is it really hot?
You're just hot.
It's not that kind.
I'm embarrassing you. Men are always hotter than women.
All right, let's see what helps. That leads me to say the next thing. Who has signed up for the Ninja, what's it called? Ninja selling, whatever. Who has signed up for that? All right, so if you're not, this is Tony Robbins. There's 2 things. You're either learning and growing, or you're not and you're dying. There's not a constant. You know, you're either learning and evolving as a human being, or you're not. I get people come all the time to me. It's like, why do you go to Tony Robbins? You're doing great. Is something wrong in your life? No, nothing's wrong with my life. I just want to be better. I want to learn more. You know, why do I read these books? Why do I do the audiobooks every day? Because I have this craving inside me to want to learn more, to want to become a better person, a better father, a better husband, a better friend, a better partner, a better everything, right? So how do you do that? Through books, right? This is knowledge from someone, and there is knowledge out there. Many books, and it's so easy now. Audiobooks are so easy. Just put it on, go to the gym. You're gonna go to a book in 3 days, right? So it's really important. I mean, I think that class is a super important class. The companies made a deal with a Ninja Warrior, whatever it's called. And we are trying, I don't know if we got any results from trying to reduce the amount of time or not, if we're gonna be able to compress
Right,
it. So we're trying to compress it because it's 4 days, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which I know can be a little challenging sometimes at times. It's not expensive, it's $600, right?
$750.
$750, sorry. It's $750. I mean, if you don't have $750 to invest in yourself, in your career, to grow your business, and again, it's not that you're gonna go to that course and that course is gonna change your career like this. You just need to go and learn 1 or 2 things. If you go there and sit 4 days or 3 days, hopefully, and you can pick up on 2 things, or you can get refreshed and reminded about something that you already know, it's super important. So we have to continue to grow by learning, by creating experiences in our life and reading books and talking to people and learning from others, you know? It's very important, guys, to invest in yourself. You have to. I mean, you are your biggest asset.
And as far as the duration of it's concerned, you know, that week, that month is typically a slower time,
Yeah.
so it's easier to kind of disconnect for periods of time.
And I think one thing you always remind us, Santiago, is that we are always constantly fed by negative thoughts. So it's a reminder, like, why do you do this class over and over every year? It's like, every year it means something different, right? Maybe you're more prepared for that at that moment. So
Yeah.
it's constantly reminding yourself and tricking your brain to be positive. See, I'm learning.
So good job. So in 2008, when the market got really hard, 2009, I was in a really bad spot for many reasons, financially, emotionally, health, and everything, my family. And I wanted to find something that would support me. Just because I didn't have a family here, or anyone to talk to and get, so I said I need to find it myself. That's when I started to find books, audiobooks, tapes, whatever it was at the time, CDs. Because when times get a little rough, you know, and in our case, specifically in real estate, there's times when anyone can sell a house, right? It's easy, just put houses selling, and we've been going through a gray market and everything, but there are times where we're gonna go down, you know, and the phone does not ring. I'm not trying to scare you, but it happens, it's part of the deal, right? And you need to work harder, but then you work harder and you're making half of the money or maybe less. So it really gets you, you know? So you need to prepare yourself. If you don't prepare yourself, you're gonna quit and go and find a job somewhere else. But if you go through it, then you're gonna get market share, and when the market comes back, it's like being a surfer, right? You wait for the wave, and when the wave comes, then you, right? So it's important that you have these groups, these books, friend, or someone you can talk to about these things, because that's the support that you need on careers like ours, right? We don't have a set salary, we create our own salary. And sometimes, you know, it's a little rougher. So you have to have something that will support you to get through that. And once you get through that, then you'll be fine. Okay, how an inventor got his best idea. Here it talks about the late Dr. Elmer Gates and of Chevy Chase, Maryland. I don't remember this story, to be honest. I didn't read this. Did anyone read this? Is something that we should talk about it, or pass to the next thing? There's nothing relevant in there?
It's more so how he had to tap into his creative mind. He had to be in a dark room, and then he'd visualize all the stuff he already knew in his life, that were rational, factual thoughts, and then he would have creative ways to then solve a problem. So he helped other businesses solve problems by figuring out the outside the box thought. So he would, sit in the dark, think of all the rational things and the facts, look at the problem of what he knows, and then was oh, okay, I have an idea, and then he would write. And I think they said one time he had so many ideas that he was there writing for 3 hours, and he patents a lot of his ideas. So patent office has all his records to show of all the creative stuff. But it's using both your rational and creative mind to kind of find solutions.
Great, thank you. See, there's so many things that, I read this book 12 times, and that part is nothing that really highlighted in my brain or I can remember. So there's a lot to learn, every year you come back and there's some new message in there that you have. Methods used by geniuses are available to you. Great. Alright, the major difference between a genius and an ordinary crank inventor might be found in the fact that the genius works through his faculty of creative imagination. While the crank knows nothing of this faculty, the scientific inventor makes use of both the synthetic and the creative faculties of imagination. We covered those two on the chapter of imagination, you remember. For example, the scientific inventor begins an invention by organizing and combining the known ideas or principles accumulated to the experience through the synthetic faculty, column or parenthesis, the reasoning faculty. If he finds this accumulated knowledge to be sufficient for the completion of his invention, he then draws upon the sources of knowledge available to him through his creative faculty. The method by which he does this varies with the individual, but this is the essence of his procedure. 1. He stimulates his mind so that it functions on a higher than average plane, using one or more of the 10 mind stimulants or some other stimulants of his choice. We read the 10, we talked about it, that's how you get, what I call being in the right channel. 2, he concentrates upon the known factors, the finished part of his invention, and creates in his mind a perfect picture of unknown factors, the unfinished part of his invention. He holds this picture in the mind until he has been taken over by the subconscious mind, then relaxes by creating his mind of all thought and waits for his answer to flash into his mind, the hunch, right? Meditating, you clear your mind, you're connected, you get that, oh, I should call this person. Oh, maybe I should do this. So those things, that's basically what we're talking about, which is the same. The driving force of sex. We talked about that already, and gives example here about the genius, which was their undoubtedly found its source of power in transmuting sex energy. I'm going to read a few. George Washington, Napoleon Bonaparte, William Shakespeare, Abraham Lincoln, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Robert Burns. Should I go more? Yeah, okay. You got it. Okay, cool. So I think that's mainly, unless there's something in there that I also didn't really realize. There's a lot of examples, the rest of the chapter, for you to get you to understand really what they're talking about. But I think for the most part, we all get it, right? Who doesn't get it, or who wants a little help on it? You all good? Cool deal. Well, let's go to the one that we also cover. That is a really reinforcement of the subconscious mind. It's a really short chapter, and I'm going to start by reading what's at the end of the chapter. Anybody can wish for riches, and most people do. But only a few know that a definite plan plus a burning desire, which you all have by now, for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. So one of the audiobooks that I did, I don't remember which one, they give an example of a young man that really wanted to be successful and rich, and went to an older guy who was successful and rich to ask for advice. And the old man said, "Are you sure that you're ready for my advice? Are you sure you're ready for me to tell you what it takes to do that?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "Meet me at the beach tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning," right? And the young man was like, "The beach? Why?" It's like, "Do you want my advice or not?" He said, "Yes." So we show up at the beach at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's all fired up. It's like, "Okay, I'm gonna tell me your secret. What is it?" Right? He's like, "Get in the water." So the guy gets in the water all the way to his knees, says, "Get deeper in the water." And the old man walks with him, and they're getting in the water, and when there's about his neck, the guy looks at the young man and says, "How bad do you really want this?" And he says, "I want it really bad." So he says, "I don't want you to fight me." And he dumps him inside the water and holds him in there until the guy's about to pass out. And he takes him out, and he said, "When you go down there, just tell me one thing. What were you thinking? What was the one thing that you were really thinking?" It's like, "I really want to go out and take a breath." And he said, "When you want success that bad, and you think, and that's the only thing you think, that's when you're going to be ready to be successful." So that's really what I think is very important out of that chapter. To me, at least. I don't know if it resonates with you guys. The subconscious mind, again, is what you want to be working while you're sleeping, like part Pardot, right? You want, your subconscious mind is the one that communicates with the radios of other people, with the radio of the infinite intelligence, God, your higher self, your energy, whatever you believe in. And in order for your subconscious mind to be prepared for that, like I spoke about it, and I think made it super clear at the forum, is you need to train your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is that gardener that waters the seeds that you plant, right? If that gardener is not watering, if you're not doing this, if you're not reading, if you're not meditating, if you're not auto-suggesting yourself or visualizing, whatever the choice or the tool that you resonate with better, then your subconscious mind is just going to act by default. It's going to pick up on things that during the day you go, how many times you have dreams that you're like walking the day and something really dumb, like nothing important happened. Like you went to the grocery store and you saw something like a candy corn for 2 seconds, and then you go to bed and you sleep with have a dream with candy corn. That's because your subconscious mind is just out there like picking up on whatever. But if you direct what you want to put in your subconscious mind by doing all the exercises, now you're controlling it. Now you're controlling how much water you're putting, how much you're taking care of that garden, and that garden is time to raise. And then it takes time, right? There is that period of time that is when a lot of people give up, because it's not immediate, right? And the reason why it's not immediate is because it actually serves you well, right? If you really wanted a thing so bad and having this, let's say you really wanted to have a yacht, and things happen immediately, the yacht will show up in here. You think that will make sense? In the middle of the room. So there is a buffer of time because it needs to make sense, right? And the universe, God, your higher self, energy, knows the fastest, easiest, best way to deliver that to you when you're ready for it. And the way to get ready for it is like, believe in it, work, do your thing, and then it will happen, right? But that takes time, so you need to wait. It's like a garden. You water, it's not going to come out the next day, you're not going to have apples. Right? You gotta wait a period of time to collect those fruits. Same thing. So that's the subconscious mind. I don't need to go in detail unless you have something here that you want to point out. But I mean, really, we cover I think a lot in the last chapters about it, and we kind of talk about it constantly.
One thing you said last year, which I thought was funny, but I loved, is when you habituate yourself and you prepare yourself, you can either arrive to problems in a limo or in a bus. Right. And I thought that was really clear when you visualize those things. For me, it's like, well, I want to arrive in a limo because then you're prepared. You've been preparing, and then those problems, you're arriving in a limo, not in the bus.
Very good style.
You know how to handle them.
If it's a party bus.
Okay, well, yeah.
Creative
like
mind.
Now you're talking.
I think the one that they have a party bus and Chairman loves to go to the Pasadena opening next week. Is it next week?
Tuesday.
Yeah. So there's a fun party bus, I guess they're all going to take. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, guys, I mean, I think we're done. Unless you want to ask questions, we have 15 minutes for questions, and here we can exchange information. No, you're good? Yeah. Sweating?
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming. Yes?
Can I just share something with everyone here?
Yes.
Between 10:30 and noon, I'm going to be over at 12218 Montana, number 304. That's at the Brentwood Park. It's a new unit that we just finished.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
If anyone wants to come by and preview it, please do.
Cool.
Thank you.
Justin, you know how to open it?
Yeah.
The key. Cool off from the inside, I guess.
Put your head in there.
Did we build the building? Yeah. All right, thanks. Cool, guys. Any good plans for the weekend? No? Work. I thought that would get you to talk something. Come on. What is it, Andy? Work. Work? All right, well,
Halloween, kids' Halloween stuff.
we're starting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started today.
Yeah. What's up, Michael?
What's up? I didn't pay, so I gotta go on the conference.
That's very good. We're done, man. Thank you, guys.
13, 14.
Huh?
13, 14, right? We're gonna keep doing the 2 chapters.
13, 14 next week, and what is after that? You see?
That's it.
Yeah, 13, 14, and one more week at 15.
I think we can tackle 13, 14, and 15, right? Because the last one is a very short one. It's not it talks about the ghost of fear. So let's do the 3 last chapters together next week. I'll get we'll get some food, some beers and empanadas, as usual tradition, to finish the last course.
For next week, the last person, right? We'll order that.
Yeah. So let me see. Next week is.
The first.
Oh, cool. Beginning of the month. We'll start the month in the right way. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm just gonna put it out there, but we could move from 9 to 10 instead of 9 to 10, be 10 to 11. So we're not drinking beer at 10. But that's up to you. We've done that in the past. You know, is that something that works for all of you guys?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, so let's do 10 to 11 next week. Next Friday, we'll get some empanadas and beers, and we'll have fun. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Santiago.
Leaving it like one.
You guys are going,
We're going to Singapore.